Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I just want to show you what I have been up to. I just finished one of the biggest pieces I have ever done. It is a resin clock and I have named it 24 karat. A friend of mine asked me to make a special gift for her parents' 45-year anniversary. She wanted something beautiful yet functional that they both can enjoy. So we collabed and we came up with this piece. So if you want to see how I did it, stay tuned. To complete this project, you'll need one large wood round, clock parts, acrylic paint, a pouring medium, though some choose to use water, resin, disposable cups for both the resin as well as the acrylic paint, and also plastic gloves to protect your hand from the resin as well as the paint. Alright, so I have already mixed my paints with Floetrol. They are ready to go. I used a 50-50 ratio and I like to sit it on a bowl so it's like sitting up high. So now the best part begins, which is also the messiest part. So I like to cover the piece with white first. So, well, in this case it's white. I consider that the base color. So I get that all spreaded on well. It gives the other paint something to kind of flow onto, for lack of a better word. And so I've also speeded it up here a little bit for you guys. So just enjoy. And as you can see, there's really no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. This is why I consider this like the best part of the whole thing, because you just go with what you feel and you let the paint flow. Now, I really think the piece could have stayed great, like right there, but because I can't leave well enough alone, I continue. But I did want to get a little bit more of the contrasting colors, because I think here I ended up using 3 different golds. So I mean, that was the purpose behind it, but if I had left it alone, it still would have been fine right then and there. But I didn't. Keep going. So I didn't like how it kind of bunched over there on that side, and of course it's my fault. But because it's paint, it's forgiving, so you just keep working with it till you get it to what you think looks great. Alright, so the paint is completely dry. It's time to put on the support for the hand. So this came in my packaging for the clock parts. The little white piece you see I'm using is a measuring tool, so for lack of a better word, that is supposed to support the actual clock. So just go ahead and use that piece to measure. Attach the little white part. You just hammer that in. I was making sure that it was placed right in the right position. From there, you go ahead and you screw down your actual parts to hang it. Now, this is birch wood, so it's pretty light. So normal picture parts will work just fine for that. Now, you want to go ahead and mix your resin according to the brand you're using. This brand was 1:1. I like to use a scale because it allows me to use the tare function, so I can properly say, okay, 1 ounce of this, 1 ounce of that, and that way I know that my resin is mixed properly according to the way each one should be, or the amount of ounces each one should be. Because I have messed up some pieces, I promise you, because my ratios have been off. I'll leave it to dry and it'll be sticky, or I'll leave it to dry and it's still wet, not even just sticky. So I've had to work through that and figure it out. And so, like I said, using the actual scale helps me the best. All right, so from here we pour the mixture together. I usually like to pour the heaviest part into, the lightest part into the heaviest part. So in this particular brand, part A is the heavy part, B is the lighter one. And then you just make sure you mix, and you mix together well. And you don't really have to worry about air bubbles or anything, during this time at all. All right, so let's pour. And you can already see the colors are starting to pop and come to life, just with the resin still being wet. That's why I love resin so much. It just brings everything that you use it on to life. So here I'm just making sure that it's spread really well. The great thing about it is it's self-leveling, but I like to ensure that I get a proper spread before I walk away from it, because I guess I have trust issues. Let's just say that. So I'm just using a popsicle stick to kind of push it around, get all the crevices, just make sure that the piece is completely covered. Now I am using a heat gun. This will pop any bubbles. So some of the bubbles you see, some of them you don't see, but this just ensures that when it dries level and doesn't have any indentations in it. So here I'm just using my fingers to kind of spread it out in little places that didn't get the resin. But as you can already tell, it's spread pretty evenly. I've probably been working on it at this point about 10 minutes. And at this point, I'm gonna leave it to set to dry in a fairly warm area so it doesn't mess with the curing process. And I like to sit it, especially on pieces this big, for about 48 hours. Now, I will tell you, I have a piece that's already ready, and that's what you see right here, because you can say I'm impatient. I went on ahead and let that, while that other piece is actually still drying, I decided to work on this piece here. So you saw me scrape off any of the excess resin that got onto the clock support. You saw me do that. So now we're just placing the numbers, and you just want to make sure that they are evenly spaced, because you don't want it to be off when it hangs. So with this piece, I definitely say take your time. I'm sorry, with this part, take your time and make sure that the numbers are right. I love that little measuring tool that came with the set. And so I'm also here peeling off the back of the numbers so that I can stick them. And then you place the hands on. You didn't see me do this, but there is a battery in the back of the little gold support piece. At this point, we are done. So it took me a total of about a week to do due to the drying process and the curing time. It was probably only about 4 hours of actual work. The rest was just waiting, which is the hardest part, right?